Hotel brothers and sisters, Black Power is always giving honor to the Creator, the ancestors, Chief of Staff Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers, my in-laws, my sister, my father, my subscribers, viewers, donors, supporters, family members, and all those who are fighting for our liberation and salvation within our black nation. Today I want to talk about the no search for the missing black women and young women in Washington, D.C. that they have totally been forgotten about. And I need not to say, if it was these ICE safes, if it was these Beckys missing, the city would not rest until all of these white dogs were retrieved. And so I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to try to refresh everyone's memory with these young women that have been snatched off the street, and no telling where they're at, but we have an idea where they may be located. And so what needs to take place is there needs to be an all-out search, armed search by the black community in retrieving our children, our sisters, our nieces, our grandchildren. You know, these are our daughters, granddaughters, nieces, mothers, aunts, and some grandmothers in some instances that have literally been snatched off the street. And believe me, they're not snatched for any just to be snatched. These young women were snatched for various reasons: sex trafficking, organ stealing, organ harvesting, organ stealing, sex trafficking, sex slaves, and just being raped half to death, being used for various experiments, trying different drugs and all types of Frankensteinian type experiments in the process of this abduction. There's no way all of these sisters are snatched up 15 in a 24-hour period since February. And there are no answers. There's no media airtime talking about this abduction. And shame on you black nigger ass news commentators who sit up there and talk about missing fucking dogs and chihuahuas and all of these white babies and what these motherfucking crackers are doing, and the sisters in your fucking community are being held captive, if they're still alive, and you have nothing to say. You don't go to the editor, you don't press them out to see if you can have them as your major cover stories. It's a fucking shame. And with the abduction, and this Relisha Rudd has not been found yet. Has not been found to this day. Because there has not been an all-out effort to look for this sister. Now I'm gonna share a brief story about this nigga here who was supposedly had abducted her but was murdered by DC police. And they tried to make it appear as though it was a suicide, because he clearly was caught red-handed damn near, you know, with the shovel, the receipt from Home Depot with the trash bags and the lime to bury this sister. But upon meeting the police in an isolated area, he was supposedly have committed suicide. Which, for what reason, I don't know. But he was murdered by the police because he knew more than what you could imagine. Because he wouldn't have snatched this girl if it wasn't some type of network involved. And as you sit in your room or when you lay down at night, just think, it may not be your daughter right now. It may not be your mother right now or your granddaughter right now. But when it does become yours, or if it does become yours, what will you do? What would you want the black community? How do you want them to respond? With all these sisters being abducted, right now they could be screaming for dear life. You see those fucking shows where these Criminal Minds, where these crackers have these fucking dungeons in their fucking basement with these females tied up and chained up and lobotomizing them and doing all types of wild, nasty, death-defying shit. And if you look at these sisters, you can tell that they possibly are being sex trafficking. Some of them as far as in France, Russia, Rome, Greece, being used as sex slaves. And then when they're wore out, they harvest their organs and throw them away like trash. There's no way that all of these sisters can be just picked up. Not by no one, not by two, not by three individuals. This is a network of organized motherfucking killers, doctors, surgeons, psychiatrists, pimps of all sorts that are involved in the abduction of these babies. FEMA, who's been known, and it's rumored that they are riding around Washington, D.C. at night, snatching up men and women, putting them in vans, taking them to the National Institute of Health, Psychiatric Institute of Washington, telling them that they'll be paid if they allow certain tests to be conducted on them. You read those ads in the paper. If you're a smoker or if you drink alcohol, you can get paid up to $2,500 a month if you undergo a study and all this bullshit. And these people never return. And those that do return are in such a motherfucking zombie state that they don't even know that they're alive anymore. The CDC, who played a major role also in the Atlanta child murders, which I'm going to get to shortly, where these 28 young boys were abducted in Atlanta, and the blame was placed on one individual. They were found in wooded areas all over the city of Atlanta and the outskirts. This gentleman here, a local DJ, bootleg radio personality, talent scout, Wayne Williams, who was given the blame for all 28 murders, when in fact he's only been convicted of one murder of one boy who he had a homosexual affair with, and they were fighting outside of a laundromat in the outskirts of Atlanta. And Wayne Williams caused the boy's head to hit the corner of a dumpster, and the boy died of brain hemorrhaging. But Wayne Williams did not seek any type of medical help for this young boy and threw him in the dumpster. And this is what he was convicted of. But they pinned 28 murders on Wayne Williams because he fit the profile, and they knew that black people were not going to do any follow-up on this tragedy. 27 of the young boys that were abducted, their penises were cut off. They were castrated. The tips of their penises were cut off. And on the young boy, the tip of the penis is where the highest level of concentrated melanin is in the tip of the penis. And that's where the CDC came into play. But as far as the abductions were concerned, Wayne Williams stated, and this is why he has not been let out of jail yet, because he knew who were the actual culprits. He stated that the CIA played a major role and was the major culprits, along with the CDC, as well as the local Ku Klux Klan, who were doing the physical abductions. They were paid to do the physical abductions, and the CDC actually provided the killings along with the KKK and the castrations. But the CIA was behind it all. And it leaked out through this devil here, David Duke, who was the fucking grand wizard at the time of these abductions, who was reportedly bragging about the Atlanta child murders. So brothers and sisters, this shit is not a game. Think of these 28 young boys that were abducted, castrated, the type of excruciating pain that they were in, being lynched, given the charge to one man to make one of the biggest black murder conspiracy cover-ups in the history of this country. And so don't say no shit about there's no racism, because anytime you have all of these black women that are still missing, that have been recently abducted, and you hear nothing about this shit on the news, nothing. They're more concerned with whatever white America is dealing with. And once again, shame to you fuck nigga news reporters who don't have the fucking guts to protest and put these motherfucking crackers in a position where they have to cover the abduction of these girls every single fucking day around the clock. That's how we know that these crackers are heavily involved in the abduction of our women for various reasons. You may ask: placebo, afterbirth, giving childbirth, taking the children away from them, impregnating them, sex trafficking, organ harvesting. The same thing that happened with Lakeisha Jenkins. So let's not be fooled by what goes on in this fucking country with these goddamn crackers. What are you gonna do? How much noise can you possibly make to be felt and heard, so we can begin to have an all-out search for our young queens. Let's all write some petitions. Let's all begin to have some meetings, develop some search parties, get some neighborhood watch, some serious armed neighborhood watch warriors out there patrolling the streets at night. Because mind you, your local police have something to do with it too. And let's not forget the Atlanta child murders. That was a horrible tragedy in which you don't believe yourself Wayne Williams is guilty of. You don't believe that at all. And so I'll be coming back with a recap of today's video. I just wanted to share this with y'all, to get you thinking and to get your mind geared towards trying to make some type of effort, because maybe we can still save some of these queens. We can still save some people. Hotep, Black Power.